So we're going to just get a couple snippets of Russo. This is her very first day of rolling out the intervention stations. So there are a lot of things that we even noticed in the moment that she adjusted accordingly. But I want to kind of frame what she's doing. So as a result of our January 25th learning, she was able to collaborate with KIP Liberation, which is our sister school, and develop some curriculum that could help and address some of our low performing TEKs based on data. And we share similar data at our sister school. After having that day, she spent last Friday just allowing the students to highlight their data on the IA2 assessment tracker for the digital station. In that digital station, they are responsible for doing things that are pertinent specifically to them. So that's the digital station. They have a guide that tells them what video to go to and remaster if they did not, if they were not able to shade, and the shading comes from the interim assessment too. So then she has two other groups. So the digital station is single, solo, silent, and you're working on exactly what you need based on your own personal data. Then she has a small group station of students that she starts with her. That's her first rotation. And then she'll see other students accordingly, but she tries to make sure she starts with her lower students first so that they can at least have some practice and guidance with her. So you'll see the small group station here with her low students that really need a lot of support and guidance to even get started when they work in their individual station. And then her third station that we're going to see is the station where she does peer collaboration. But she's put a little twist to it. So they first must do individual work for, I think she sets the timer for 10 minutes, and they must do individual work. And then the last 5 minutes is them discussing what they did individually. And she also has a answer key that they can go and check themselves after they've done the individual and the peer collaboration, just to make sure that they leave with the correct knowledge. Last but not least, in that peer collaboration, she gives an exit ticket. So today we're going to look at those 3 stations. And remember, this is her very first day of running all 3 stations at one time. She's never even done stations before other than half and half in her blended learning. And we're going to look at some data pieces. And then we're going to talk about at the end some adjustments she made based on seeing it. So let's jump into her class.
Look at you, which your time is almost done. Over here in this book, you have 25 seconds, and then you're going to start collaborating. And remember, keep your volume at 1. You can agree to disagree. You disagree, you say why you disagree. You ready? Everybody is ready, right? Wait on that one. You may collaborate. It says about 5 minutes to collaborate. Something else. And I put I agree because that's what you say. Right? So it says multiplication I should agree. So I want to make sure it's right where ready is now, what would I do next? Multiply 3 times 8
So a couple things to notice too is that she's making the students use the habit of discussion language to guide, and actually on that document it says, do you agree, disagree, or you're not sure? So it's a way to lead them into having conversations. And notice some of the students are looking on the wall. They're looking at a anchor chart that she set up to help guide them through how to do order of operations. And so they're checking to make sure that their order is correct based on the anchor chart she gave them. And then directly behind the group, there's actual answer key. She hasn't told them that they have the answer key, but they'll be able to go and access that answer key after they've had the debate. So notice she's running 3 groups at one time. She's handling her small group. She's allowing the peer collaboration after they've done their own individual work to actually collaborate. And then we're going to see one of the other groups, which is the digital station.
You're shaking your head. What did you use to shake?
If I got question 2 or 25, both of them right, I was shading all of them. If I only got one right, I was shading all of them.
Give us a second. Technology is trying to fail us, but here I asked the student where did he get his data from.
And what was this assessment? Do you remember what this assessment was? Okay, so this was your interim 2 assessment, and when you didn't get a question right, you shaded.
And so our video is kind of acting up, but all in all, this young gentleman was able to tell me how he came about shading his data, but I wanted to push it even further by making sure he understood that this came from your interim assessment, which is very aligned to STAR. And so you're at this point working towards making sure that you're at mastery level. And so I just pushed it further. He knew quite a bit. He knew why he shaded, which questions aligned to which TEK. And this was created by teachers, Mr. Wynn. He created and aligned some support reinforcements for our students based on our lowest performing TEKs. And so based on the questions that was aligned to the TEK. So over here is the TEK in the corner. Over here is the TEK. And these tells them which questions align to that TEK, and they have to shade based on that TEK. And then over here tells them which lesson to go back into Zern, this is 5th grade, to remaster if they did not shade. So he was able to speak to all of why he shaded, where he had to go to get his remastery attempt. The one thing I wanted to push was, what did this data mean and where did it come from? So I wanted him to know that this was a direct result of what you did at interim assessment 2. So we've seen all 3 stations. We've seen her work on her small group, and I'm going to go into that too because I know you saw her managing 2 groups. I'm going to allow you to see how she's guiding her small group, and then we're going to wrap up with our debrief based on what the data says.
Doing a good job over here. Ms. Russo trying to give y'all a hard stuff. Trick y'all up.
I ain't tricking nobody.
Y'all did good. Good job. Finish it out though, Randall.
Okay, so who's still working? Hurry up, because you got 20 seconds.
You got it. Just go ahead and finish it out. You're doing a good job.
Okay.
So Ms. Russo gave them time and space to work individually, and then she brought them back so she could go over the problem with them. And so you'll notice that the students were very eager to show their answers. They even showed them to me because they just wanted to get that feedback, and she's about to go over that and make sure that they get their feedback. Here, I'm going to go back to some of the things that we learned, and I'm going to take some snippets of our lessons that we learned. So one thing that we learned was that when we do the different stations, there's only one teacher. And ideally, we would want to have 3 teachers to run each station, but that's not the reality. So here we have a young gentleman that didn't master the first part of the peer collaboration. And so earlier I had a student, and I'm going to back it up. I had a student to actually go in and explain to him how to master something that he did not do well on. So we're going to look at her explain, and then I came back to that student and had him to explain to me as well. And this is something that as a teacher, it's only one person in the room. So we're still figuring out how that we can ensure that these groups are ran with integrity. So here you have her explaining.
Do you know that? Okay. So what she's saying is she didn't let this fraction fool her because she realized, oh, that can be put and simplified as a whole number because I can go ahead and evaluate the fraction, I can divide, and I can get a whole number. So she just immediately said, let me take care of this fraction, and then it looks like a regular problem. So I want you to try it. Thank you, Nayla. Go ahead and try it. And then I'm going to come back to you, okay? And I want to see your final answer.
People in the back, take your scratch paper, stand by your table. Let's get ready to roll out.
Show me what was in the bracket. You got rid of the bracket, but all you did was solve for this.
Where's zero?
Where's your bracket?
Here. What do we get? Come on.
Yeah, so that means what you have to be first. That's very important. If you take that away, you're going to probably change. You might change the value. I'm not saying you would, but you might change the value. In this case, you would have been okay, but you might not be so lucky all the time.
What we get here? Oh, three. No, I know. We get 7. Right, 3. And then 10 minus 7 is 3. And then we do 5 times 3. All right. So we're at 0, so we can shift. We're at 0. Excuse me. Our conversation level's at 0. We need to stand behind the table so these people can come. Stand behind the table.
So there was a lot going on in the 3 stations, and now they're getting ready to shift and transition to another station. This is her very first time doing this transition, but her students are used to moving and transitioning in her class. So even on the first time, you're going to see that it goes pretty smooth considering it's the first time that they've done it. They've never done the 3 stations before. So let's dive into her classroom and let's see how she transitions the students, because with running the three different groups, the transitions is just as important as the curriculum, which is just as important as the ended goal and the intended goal, which is to push students thinking. And having clear steps, clear transitions, clear everything structured and ready to go helps with the flow of the class and also maximize the time. So let's look at that.
Up here, leave your things on the table in the center and I will pick them up. And I need you to stand. Your name has to be on it. Stand, leave your board. You're right there.
So eventually she explains to all of them how to transition, and the students get to their next group within about a minute and a half or so. So it was a pretty smooth transition. Next, we're going to go into some of the data that we looked at as a result of running the peer collaboration.
So what were some things that you noticed about the data?
What I noticed about the data is some kids were still getting their steps on the handle. If it's like 2 parentheses within the bracket, they were like, do I go to the multiplication first? And they were supposed to go from the direction of left to right. So they were getting direction, which way to go versus that's multiplication.
So we spent literally about 2 minutes diving in, getting what was the concern. The last few minutes, and this was a 6-minute total meeting of a debrief, was just figuring out how we're going to address it in the next class. Let's look at that.
Only thing I could do is consider their papers is just kind of address it. Like give an example on the board and say, what would I do? That was
before you release them to them?
Yes.
Okay.
So quickly, we figured out what to do. And congratulations, Russo, for 3 groups ran very smoothly. Good job. Let's keep working and pushing.